Good evening, everyone. This is Tim, and you're listening to Truth Unlocked. So, to get started with tonight's video, we're going to talk about the oral form of the COVID vaccine, which is set to begin trials in Israel. So, we all know that they are so adamant about forcing the masses to get this vaccine. And from what I see, the vaccine does nothing. The people that are vaccinated are the ones that are passing it to the unvaccinated. And of course, they claim because we're unvaccinated, it's easier for us to get it. I beg to differ, solely because I wasn't one of these sheep that decided to jump in line and get on the bandwagon to get this vaccine. I refuse to volunteer myself to become a guinea pig for this country, for the corporation that is the United States. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and just go through this article here on Forbes.com. So, oral COVID vaccine set to begin trials in Israel. Okay. Top line. Amid rising cases of COVID-19 driven by the infectious Delta variant, Israel is gearing up to host the first clinical trials of an oral COVID-19 vaccine, which could help boost access to vaccines around the world and serve as more convenient booster in the future. Okay, so why would we even need the booster? Okay, are they planning other waves that are going to be coming in? I'm pretty sure because this entire COVID-19 pandemic, air quotes there is, was orchestrated. Okay, it has been orchestrated. And I don't think it's not just our government. I believe it was the world's governments that have been pushing this whole pandemic thing. Okay, if you don't get the vaccine, wear a mask. I wore a mask for a little bit, and then I was like, this makes no sense. The masks don't work. Okay, they say if you don't have a vaccine, well, they say get the vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, wear a mask. Okay, then if you got the vaccine, wear a mask. What's the purpose of the vaccine if it does absolutely nothing? What's the purpose of masking up if it does absolutely nothing at all? If it doesn't protect you from the whole purpose of you getting it. Okay? Key facts about this. Oravax Medical, a company focused on developing ways to deliver drugs by mouth, is preparing to begin clinical trials of its oral COVID-19 vaccine in Israel after getting the green light from the review board at Ichilov Hospital in Tel Aviv, which is their main hospital. The trials, pending recruitment and final approval from the country's health ministry in coming weeks, will initially serve as a proof of concept for the capsule vaccine, said Nadav Kidron, was the CEO of Oravax's parent company, Oramed Pharmaceuticals, in an interview with the Jerusalem Post. So they are beginning trials. Who are these volunteers besides the rest of the world? Okay, I truly believe regarding something, if it's so big, if this pandemic is so big, these waves keep coming one after the next, I truly feel that they can't do enough trials, period. Okay, because when they pushed out these first vaccines, it was pretty much from their point of view a global trial. Okay, because obvious it's not working, so it was just a trial. Maybe they shouldn't have been so quick to push this out there, but that's besides the point. I really believe that there's more to this aside from changing everyone's DNA. Okay, we were made a certain way. Okay, our bodies were made to have a sort of symbiotic relationship with this planet. Okay, we know we get our oxygen from the plants, are the same plants that have medicinal purposes for us, and in return we give out carbon dioxide, which is what they need. Okay, That's how this works, okay? Everything, every cure for every possible disease is in nature. But how does nature protect from man-made diseases? Which I believe COVID-19 is. It was man-made in a lab. Okay, and from looking at reading other articles over the past few weeks, it's a lab that was funded by our own tax dollars. Okay, so we need to continue to push further into what's actually going on, what's going on behind the scenes with this. Okay, so keep reading. The first trial will involve 24 unvaccinated volunteers. Okay, 24 unvaccinated volunteers. Now, keep in mind, if they're unvaccinated, I think there's a slim chance that they actually wanted to get vaccinated and chose, and like basically like if they wanted to get vaccinated and just couldn't, I think that chance is extremely slim. I think it's more so I'm unvaccinated, I choose not to get unvaccinated, but hey, here's some money for this trial. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's most likely how it's going down with these 24 unvaccinated volunteers. Okay, if they've been unvaccinated this long, there's a huge reason why. Each taking one or two pills, and will investigate the vaccine safety and indicators of immunity, moving on to a larger phase 3 trials to demonstrate efficacy if successful. So these trials, I wonder how long they're going to take. I really do. This is so curious to me because that's just one part of the world. And then you have a few other pharmaceutical companies testing a pill concept as well. So keep reading here. The vaccine should be much more resistant to COVID-19 variants, Kidron said, as it trains the immune system against 3 viral proteins instead of the single protein targeted by Pfizer and Moderna shots. Okay, so they're claiming that it's going to be much more resistant to it, and who to say they're not just making something that's just similar to, that's going to ward against the flu, the common cold, which also are like the common cold is a form of COVID. So, which is the reason why we have such high numbers, because when you go in for flu symptoms, they say it's COVID. When you go in for common cold symptoms, they say it's COVID. If you're even going in for allergies, 9 out of 10 times are going to say it's COVID. So this is the reason for these exaggerated numbers we have, because they're labeling everything as COVID in order to falsify a need for these vaccines. It says here, Oravax is also developing the capsule as a booster for people who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 before, though its plans to test this are unclear. So they're going to give out a capsule version as a booster to people that have already been vaccinated. How is this booster going to interact with the vaccine that's already in the body? I am very curious to find out, because what does the doctor tell you whenever you go to the store? Whenever you go to the doctor's office and they prescribe you different medications, and then for a lot of them they tell you, do not mix these. Do not take them at the same time, because you have to allow one to begin to work. As time goes by, as it flushes out of your system, then you can go ahead and take the other one. Some medicines aren't meant to be used at the same time together, because the way they interact with each other could have certain effects against the human body and possibly make matters worse. Okay, so what to watch for? Should the trials prove a success, it could be a long while before the oral vaccine is approved in the US. Kidron said the company's priority would be getting the vaccine to those who need it most first, only seeking FDA authorization at a later date. Oravax would seek expedited emergency approval in countries that have not been able to acquire enough vaccines, Kidron said. Though it is unclear how this goal will work alongside developing the vaccine as a booster, given the vast disparities in vaccine access around the world. World Health Organization head Dr. Tedros Adhanom, I'm really trying not to butcher this name, Ghebreyesus, slammed the greed of pharmaceutical companies lobbying for booster shots while many people have not yet been vaccinated at all. Okay, key word here, greed. Are they saying that pharmaceutical companies only want money? That there is more money in the medicine versus a cure? Everyone knows this is how big pharma works these days. Okay, and they're just wanting more money. Oh, these vaccines aren't strong enough. I think you're going to need a booster shot. So let's go ahead and get that done, and then let's go ahead and swipe that government black card to pay the bill for it, which again is our tax dollars. We're sitting there paying all this money. The government is using our tax money to pay the big pharma corporations, and they're not trying to help us. It's all about making money, because what's going to happen whenever this booster comes out, they're going to need another booster, if not a completely different type of vaccine. So it's greed. It's a very strong word, but let's keep reading. Key background: an oral vaccine would help eliminate many of the barriers hindering widespread immunization around the world. They are easier to transport and store, are unlikely to require the ultra cold temperatures Pfizer and Moderna shots need, and importantly, are not administered with needles. No needle vaccination is a boon to those scared of needles. It cuts down on equipment and the risk of blood-borne diseases, and can be administered by people without medical training. So that means anyone can say, hey, take this pill. Anyone. It says without medical training. Without medical training. Despite their benefits, few oral vaccines are in widespread use owing to the hostile nature of the digestive tract. Those that are notably for polio, cholera, rotavirus, and typhoid often feature more robust pathogens capable of withstanding the conditions. Tangent. Oravax is not the only company developing an oral COVID-19 vaccine. Efforts are also underway to develop nasal spray forms of COVID-19 vaccines. As if they're not already sticking enough stuff in people's noses just with the test alone. Okay? We need to step in, and us anti-vaxxers, we need to step in and say, when is it going to be enough? When is it going to be enough? Because what's coming next is they are going to try to force this on us. And what will we do then? What will we do when they say, this is it, you need to get this vaccine or else? And then the question arises, or else what? That's when it starts to get scary. That's when the world is going to go to the proverbial shit. Okay? We need to get ready, everyone. Okay? Because whether you're Christian or not, whether you believe in the Bible talks about this. Okay? You have, I believe this is the mark. Okay? And I use this very strongly. I believe this is the mark. The Bible says those who do not get the mark will not be able to trade, barter, or sell anything. Okay? Meaning you will be cut off. That's what the vaccine passport is. You can't get a vaccine passport until you what? Get the vaccine, which is the mark. Time to wake up. The world is changing. Okay? You have to wake up. Like, everyone needs to begin to research and jump into exactly what is going on with this world. We have this pandemic going on, vaccine passports, which have already started. Then you have extreme weather. The poles of the earth have begun to shift, and they've been shifting a little bit every month, which explains all this extreme weather, this flooding, this blizzard that hit Brazil a few weeks ago. It's time to wake up, and we need a change. We need to take back our planet because it's being destroyed. The human race is being destroyed. Only us meaning the true believers, the ones that are known as conspiracy theorists, when in all reality it's conspiracy truth. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here, and I thank you everyone for listening to me. I guess you can say vent, but I'm venting with a purpose about something that matters, and it matters very dearly to myself, to my family, and hopefully one day to the rest of the world, because we need a change. We need a whole paradigm shift in everyone's thinking. We need to take this planet back. We have to, or there won't be an us left on this planet, or our planet's gonna die itself. I think the planet would be better off, honestly, without us. But yeah, this is Tim, Truth Unlocked. Later, everyone.